In this video, I'm gonna share 5 reasons why every Fuji shooter should consider this lens. Hi guys, my name is Matti Sulanto and I'm a photographer, and this is the Tamron 11-20mm f2.8 wide-angle zoom lens for Fuji X-mount cameras. This came out about 3 months ago in May 2023. This has been available for Sony for some time now already. The Sony version came out already in 2021. I've been shooting on this lens now for some weeks, but this is not gonna be a full review. This is more like a user experience, and I'm gonna share 5 reasons why I think every Fuji shooter should consider this lens if they are still missing a wide-angle zoom from their camera back. But first, a disclaimer. This is not my lens, this is on loan from Focus Nordic Finland. And I'd like to say big thanks to Focus Nordic Finland for lending me this lens so I can try it out and make this video for you guys. And I'm gonna return this lens after I'm done with this video. The reason number 1 to want this lens for your Fuji camera is the constant f2.8 aperture throughout the whole zoom range from 11 to 20 millimeters. That equals roughly to about 16.5 to 30 millimeters in full frame terms. That may not sound like a great range or reach, but on a wide angle, just a few millimeters makes a big difference. This is also moisture resistant according to the manufacturer, and this is quite compact for a fast aperture wide-angle zoom lens. This weighs in at about 335 grams and the filter thread is 67 millimeters. Also, the build quality is very decent. The exterior is some sort of plastic, but it feels like high quality plastic. The zoom ring is super smooth, and so is the focus by wire manual focus ring. The reason number 2 is the handling and balance on every Fuji camera body, because this is quite a compact lens. I was using this on my Fuji X-T30 and the handling was absolutely beautiful and very balanced. But I have to say that my X-T30 has the mic accessory grip on it, which transforms the camera regarding the handling. And that's one accessory, by the way, that I highly recommend for the X-T30 or X-T30 Mark II camera bodies. It really makes a big difference when it comes to handling. And I'm sure the handling is even better on one of the bigger, newer cameras, like for example the X-T5. There's one downside though regarding the handling, and that is the lack of aperture ring. I don't think it's a downside per se, but because many Fuji lenses, most Fuji first-party lenses have the ring, so your workflow may include the aperture ring, and then this lens might feel a little odd because it doesn't have the ring. But I don't think the lack of aperture ring is any reason to walk away from this lens, but it's just something to be aware of. There is no optical stabilizer built into this lens, but I think that's not a big deal with a wide-angle lens, and most newer Fuji cameras have in-body stabilizer anyway, and that can handle a wide-angle zoom lens easily. And I had absolutely no problems even with my X-T30, which does not have any kind of stabilizer. The reason number 3 is fast and reliable autofocus. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage to show you how the autofocus works. You just have to take my word for it. But I had absolutely no problems with my X-T30 camera and the autofocus of this lens. It worked really well in every situation I encountered, and every picture turned out sharp, and the autofocus was reliable. The reason number 4 is the optical performance. This is a very decent optical performer and very sharp, especially in the middle of the frame, already at f2.8. But naturally, like every lens, the performance improves if you stop down just a little bit. And for the best corner-to-corner uniform sharpness, I recommend you to stick around f5.6. I cannot see any distortions or distracting vignetting, but those are software corrected, so naturally you cannot see them. To me, it doesn't matter how the manufacturer decides to deal with distortions and vignetting as long as the image quality does not suffer too much, and in this case I can't see any major signs of image degradation anywhere in the frame. Reason number 5. There is no equivalent Fuji first-party lens. The Fuji lens lineup is really good and complete and comprehensive, but there is no f2.8 wide-angle zoom lens with a similar range in that lineup. There is the Fujinon 10-24mm f4 lens. That is a stabilized lens and it has slightly more range than this one, but it's also bigger and heavier than this, and it's also quite a bit more expensive than this one. And then there's the 8-16mm f2.8, which is wider than this, and it also overlaps this in the range. But that lens is a lot heavier than this and a lot more expensive too. So I think this Tamron fills a gap in that Fuji lineup nicely. The price for this Tamron 11-20mm f2.8 lens is around $830 or 900 euros, which is quite interesting. I still think it's a good value, but the Sony version goes for about $700 or 750 euros. So there's quite a big difference in the price compared to the Sony version. But like I said, I still consider this is a good value for money if you need a fast aperture wide-angle lens for your Fuji camera. This is a sharp, compact, weather-sealed zoom lens for Fuji X-mount cameras. And also the price is not too bad, especially if you compare these two Fuji first-party lenses. The only kind of downside to me is the lack of aperture ring. It's no reason to walk away from this lens, but it is a minor downside. I can't find any other major downsides with this lens, and I can sincerely recommend this lens for every Fuji user who's looking for a faster than f4 wide-angle zoom for their Fuji camera. This is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found this video useful and entertaining. And if you did, please do consider buying me a cup of coffee. There's a link down below for that if you don't live in Finland. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you again in the next one.